Okay, so welcome everybody. All right, so now we're going to talk about Saint Germain, the violet flame. Saint Germain took multiple embodiments. I'm only going to focus on a couple. One is that he was in the room in 1776 for the Declaration of Independence, which is very important for us because America is more than what it appears. America was the new earth. It was the place of the rising of the light, so to speak. The violet flame is the flame of transmutation, transformation, transcendence, and alchemy. To transmute, to change the energy, to elevate it from a low, dense energy to a higher vibrational frequency. And in that, you transform and you alchemize. Now, you can also transcend time and space using the violet flame. Meaning, you can go back in time and clear energy. You can go forward in time and clear energy and use it in your present moment. Now, if I talk too fast, let me know, because sometimes I get on this roll and I don't stop. I don't take a breath. So let me know. So I'm really trying to stay pretty centered, right? So that I don't get crazy. So now there is no zero limitation to how you use the violet flame. Zero. When Saint Germain has been holding the dispensation for the violet flame for over 70,000 years, we are on our third realm for the violet flame. There's been many great people who brought the violet flame through before. I have never really gotten into any of their books. When I started, Saint Germain said, you're going to teach the way I tell you to teach. This is how it's going to be. This is fine by me. I'm not questioning a thing. So we are in the place of, now, this is why it's so important, because we're in the place of the ascension of the earth and of ourselves, of humanity. We've had this opportunity with the Aquarian age and the other golden ages that came before, but never was Mother Earth making her ascension as she is now. So the violet flame is super important. Note, the more you use the violet flame, the stronger it gets. The stronger it gets. You know, when they say, like, you know, when you used to go when you were a kid and you'd go get perfume, right? And they would tell you, oh, if you're going to use this perfume, use this lotion and maybe use this soap. Because the more you do it, it layers, and so then the scent lasts longer. The more you use the violet flame, the stronger it becomes. Now, at the same time, as the stronger it becomes, the more you move into the place of zero, into the present, and you move into the law of detachment. Which means is that we're not affected, we become less affected by others' energy. Now, this is important. So, because we're all leaders, healers, light workers, channelers, whatever our role is, nurses, doctors, we could be a cashier, a hairdresser, doesn't matter, whatever we are. But we're energetic beings, okay? We have a signal that we send out into the universe, and we have a receptive station. We have both. So we're constantly picking up and receiving messages. Sometimes we can be in a store and or someone can cross our path and all of a sudden we feel like the life has been sucked out of us. Okay? We could be on the phone, we could be wherever. The life feels like it's sucked out of us because there's been an energetic exchange, a cord, something. But to get off on a side note, because we are energetic beings and we have the same crystalline makeup as what's sitting in this, silicones, all these minerals, that resonates within us. We have the same thing. So crystals will our vibrational frequency will raise to an elevate to a crystal. Crystals will really very much never come down in energy unless they're programmed to come down in energy. So because we have oscillatory rates, we have a vibrational rate and frequency, we can either amp up to somebody's or we can lower. We are light workers, so we want people to elevate up into our frequency. But whenever someone is looking to bring in more Christ light, more light of the Holy Spirit, it shines, the light shines on the darkness. And when the light shines on the darkness, it's showing everything that's been hanging out in the closet, all the junk, all the debris, all the trauma, or whatever it is, so that it can come up to the surface, be healed, cleansed, and released. And the violet flame is going to transmute that. It's going to cut the amount of processing time down so you can transmute it, process through it, heal it, and be done. So you're not lingering with it for 6 months, 3 months, 4 months, a year, 5 years. Saint Germain sits on the karmic board as well. So every time we invoke the violet flame, we use the violet flame, we are clearing karma from past lives and karma that we even created in this lifetime. So I'll give you an example. About a month, I think it was just about in my last class, maybe, or after my last class. Could have been the ceremony of one of my last classes. I don't even remember. But Saint Germain told me I needed to start going into the churches and I needed to clear the energy of the church because my butt planted negative energy in the church. And so what happened was when I heard things that were negative about the church, I didn't experience it, but I heard it. And so then it became part of my experience. And then I would sit there with my own thoughts, perceptions, and I would be planting it. We leave energetic imprints wherever we go. Everything is energy. Everything has memory. So the violet flame transmutes and clears and releases any negative energy and elevates it to a higher vibrational frequency. You can never get rid of negative energy. The only way to get rid of it is to alter it. Any energy is to alter it and raise it. And the violet flame does this for us. The violet flame allows us to hold more Christ light and then be able to send more light out into the world. When we work with our clients, before we start working with our clients, we can begin to invoke the violet flame. And when we invoke the violet flame, we begin to peel back their layers, transmute some of that surface layer debris that sits with our clients so we can move more down into the core, transmute it, it comes up, release it, and heal it faster. Saint Germain is also Jesus's father. He was known as Joseph. He also took the embodiment of Merlin, the greatest alchemist of all times. Then he was also Sir Francis Bacon. He was in Camelot and all these other different places. But those are the ones that are most important to me. He was an embodiment of Christopher Columbus as well. Now, America, AM means B, and Erica has a meaning, and it means eternally powerful. So our forefathers and the ascended masters knew what America meant. It means to be eternally powerful. So, okay. Any questions so far? Am I going too fast? Okay. Now, the next thing is that there are others that have their way that they say the violet flame. We are going to say it this way very simply. I am the violet flame. I am the love goddess. 3, 6, or 9 times. I am the violet flame. I am the love goddess. And this is the reason why. When you say I am the love goddess, I am the violet flame, I am the love goddess, you're declaring it and decreeing it, you are becoming it. You are not walking and working towards it. There is nothing that's going to come into your sphere of influence that's going to tell you that you're less, than the truth of who you are. So when you say, I am the violet flame, I am the love goddess, you are saying it and you will become it. You will start walking just in that. But now, here's the thing. The more you do that, and the more you say it, you are going to be called to say things sometimes differently because your spirit may need something else. You may be in a situation where you need more clarity. I am the violet flame. I am the clarity God is. You may say, I need more wisdom. I am the violet flame. I am the wisdom goddess. You may then want more strength. Maybe you want to start exercising and you want more strength. You may say, I am the violet flame. I am the strength goddess. Whatever comes up for you. You may say, I am the creativity. I am the violet flame. I am the creativity goddess. And then open up more creative juices because you are being the creativity God is. You are being the peace God is. M means to be. AM means to be. So you are being what God is. Anything that precedes your I am is what you're saying God within you is. Your words have power. So let's say you say, I am tired. Cancel, clear, delete. Violet flame it. I am the violet flame. I am the vitality God is. If you say I am sick, you're going to bring more sickness to you because this is how the universe works. Whatever you say that you are, the universe is going to respond in kin. The violet flame is the greatest gift given to us to use, to transmute. Bring us back to the place of our natural born state. And also help others. What do I mean by that? Sometimes we get messages or we hear that a friend is sick, someone's dying, or whatever it is. And if you see that someone's sick, the prayer is very simple. Susan is the violet flame. She is the love goddess. She is the health goddess. She is the peace goddess. That's it. And what's happening is twofold. One, you're declaring that Susan is the violet flame. She is the love goddess. Whatever other people are sending to her, you are transmuting by invoking the violet flame on her behalf. Two, you are now talking to her and acknowledging her higher self as being the health goddess, the peace goddess, the love goddess. That's the only way I pray for anybody or I send anybody any energy. So-and-so is the violet flame. They are the love goddess. Whatever word spirit gives me, that's the word I add in there. Or Saint Germain gives me, my guides give me. It's the most powerful way to pray for somebody, do energy work with somebody when you invoke that. So let's say now you're getting ready to work with a client. Doesn't matter what you're doing, Reiki, Akashic record reading, whatever it is, massage. Sarah Jane is the violet flame. She's the peace goddess. She's the clarity goddess. She's the joy goddess. I call upon my guides, Master Saint Germain, the Ascended Masters, to fill this space with light and love, transmute any negative energy, elevate into a higher vibrational frequency for her greatest good in mind, for she is the violet flame, she is the love goddess. And then that's it. Very simple. Don't make it a big to-do. Keep it simple, right? So now the next thing is this. You can change it.
Carla, can you repeat the last thing you said after how you say it for healing? What you said after that?
Probably not exactly the same, but
okay. Okay.
So I'm saying it for Mary Jane. Mary Jane is the violet flame. She is the love goddess. I call upon Saint Germain and the Ascended Masters, her spirit guides, to be present, to elevate the energy of this space, to hold the greatest amount of violet flame and white light, you could say that, for the greatest good of her healing. So be it done, declared, decreed. Because what in essence you're doing, and we're going to talk about this more in a hot minute, is you want to anchor the space. Before your clients come to you, you want to anchor the space with the violet flame. A lot of times, and I used to do this too, I would send the Christ light, white light, pink light, the emerald ray of Master Hilarion before I entered into a space. And 90.9% of the times that I did that, I ended up walking into chaos. And it wasn't because I was sending bad vibes along with it. It was because they weren't ready to receive what I was sending, the power of what was being sent. For maybe the people that were in that room, in that space, because everywhere I go is my environment, just like everywhere you go is your environment. So you can send the violet flame before you, with you, around you, through you. This is about embodying the violet flame, becoming the violet flame, so that you can hold and emit more light for not only yourselves, but for those you serve, no matter what your career is. You know, I'm going to use Stephanie as an example. You know, Stephanie took the violet flame class. She has a career as a mortgage broker and a nurse. And there was times when she had clients that couldn't close on a mortgage. Like she was getting calls from her back end office. We're not going to be able to close on this. Not going to happen. And she violet flamed, and within either days or hours, she got the phone call that there was a clear to close, when before it was not possible. So you can use it for everything, anything. When the gas prices went up, I used the violet flame for Saint Germain. I was like, Saint Germain, these gas prices, I can't afford this. Like, are you serious? Saint Germain was like, violet flame your gas tank. I'm like, well, you know what? My Mazda is the violet flame. It is the love goddess. Like, no joke. I'm like, this gas, I'm at the reservation. I'm like, this gas is the violet flame. I'm putting it in there. I'm like, it is the love goddess. It is the love goddess. I cleared 44 miles to the gallon in my Mazda. Now, I'm not doing as much. Gas prices are lower. I'm getting about 36 from a 26 miles to the gallon. My girlfriend Noreen, she's taken like 5 of my classes also. She was like, I'm all over that, but she does it by she does it by the tank, right? So she did it by the tank, and she was clocking 267. She was up at 367 a tank. You know, and then when this other guy took the class, but he had like a battery operated car, and he was getting more wear out of the battery life. So I'm very serious. Use it. There is no limit to using the violet flame, like none. This other girl, she was in the violet flame, and she wanted to have her credit card fees reversed because she'd gotten sick, COVID, whatever. She had wanted her credit card fees reversed. So the first time she called, guess what? They were like, no, no, no. And she was like, you know what? I should violet flame this. Carla said I could do it for everything, anything. And so she violet flame, right? And guess what? Boop, boop, boop. They all got reversed. She like ended up saving like $200-300. They all came back to her. Yeah. Right? So not to digress, because I did digress off the churches. So I was told by Saint Germain to go into the churches and violet flame the churches. Not only did I have to violet flame the churches, I had to violet flame the money basket. Would you believe this? Why? Because every time I gave my money, I was like, the church has enough money. They don't need my money. They should be doing this for free. And I was putting this negative energy inside the basket for the churches. Not only was I planting my butt because I was listening to everybody else with negative energy, and when someone else sat in that space, whatever my energy left and other people left behind, if that person had a little bit of doubt within them and they sat their butt where my rump was, guess what? That magnified. So if it was a little negative and they had that negativity, I was amplifying it. And everybody else who preceded me was amplifying it. So that person maybe never returned back to church ever again. So I've been having to go to the churches and do my due diligence. So, and you know, and Violet Flame, and I gotta tell you, I went to 2 churches already. One had maybe 15 people in it. Everybody was over the age of 60. The other one only had 5 people in it, plus me and the priest, 7. I was like, oh my God, did I really create this? Did I play a part? So now in this lifetime, I'm being called to go back and to remember certain situations, take responsibility, and clear up that karmic debris. So I can make way for others to come and go into a house of worship, wherever it is, and feel the peace that they need and not the crap that I left behind. So this is how powerful the Violet Flame is, right? So now, not only that, so let me see. So I've been doing that, the whole basket thing. And then the second church, they didn't even collect the basket. I actually had to go up there with my check. The priest just walked off from the podium. He was like, and mass is over, goodbye. I was like, what? I was like, do I leave? Oh, I'm gonna leave. I'm like, this is wonderful. It's like, no, no, no. And I handed them the check. So, yes.
Excuse me, I have a question. So when you said the girl with the credit card and then the gas tank, did they just basically say, I am the Violet Flame, I am the love God is, or they used something else?
So they said, so when for the gas tank, their car was the Violet Flame. It is the love God is. The gas is the Violet Flame. It is the love God is. And they sent the Violet Flame to the gas station. The girl, when she first, Maria is her name, when Maria first did it, she said she didn't do anything, but the next time when she got on the phone, she just started invoking the Violet Flame. The people that I'm talking to are the Violet Flame, they are the love God is. They are the peace God is, because she didn't know who she was going to be talking to. So as she was calling, she was just invoking the Violet Flame, envisioning the Violet Flame going through the phone around them and stuff like that. And yeah.
And now one more thing, if you want to send it to someone, if someone needs it, you say the person's name that you're going to send it to?
Yep, say the person's name that you're going to send it to, and then they are the love God is, they are the peace God is, whatever your spirit tells you that they need.
Got it.
The love God is the most powerful one, but sometimes they need a little extra. You know, they need more peace. They need more clarity. They need more strength. So you may say, Susie Joe is the Violet Flame, she's the love God is. Susie Joe is the Violet Flame, she is the love God is 3 times. Susie Joe is the Violet Flame, she is the love God is. Susie Joe is the Violet Flame, she is the peace God is. She is the joy goddess. She is the harmony goddess. Now you can use the Violet Flame in an office space. All right, let me tell you. I use it in my school. You know, you can use the Violet Flame in your office space. So if you're having tension with somebody in a work environment, office environment, you can send the Violet Flame before you get there. As you're driving your car, and we're gonna go over this too in a hot second. Your car is the Violet Flame. You begin to see the Violet Flame around your car. The tires become the Violet Flame. And it's just permeating the road. And then you begin to see what you know that you're going into your office. See your office. My office is the Violet Flame. It is the love goddess. All those that work in there, they are the Violet Flame. They are the love that God is. And then go in and send in the white light after that. If you're called to send in the Emerald Master Larian's light after that, send that in. Lord Lento's light, send that in. Whoever you're called to send in the light of Jesus Christ, send that in after. But first you want to transmute the negative energy and then send in the light behind it. Yes. Nope, I can't hear you. I'm pointing, like you can see me pointing at
I
you.
have a question, teacher. So if I wanted to do the violet flame between my husband and a house, I'd like to you can do the violet flame.
Listen, if you want to do the violet flame between your husband and the house, it's
Mhm.
more of your husband and your relationship than the house. You want to
So-
violet flame your relationship.
Not my current house.
No. But here's the thing. You want to violet flame your relationship.
Okay. Okay.
Here's what
Got
here's what this means, right? So he's at whatever he's at. You're over here, he's over here, right? So what's your husband's name? Matt, John, Joe,
Brian.
Brian. Brian is the violet flame. He is the love God is. Our relationship is the violet flame. It is the love God is. It is the unity God is. It is the joy God is.
Okay.
Right? Because here's the thing. You both want to find balance and unity. One's on one page wanting one thing, and the other is on another page wanting something else. So it's not about the object that one is wanting, it's about the unification. Does that make sense?
Completely.
Right? And then it's about for the greater good. So
Okay.
for the greater good. Right? So now I know I'm really diving a lot of stuff in here. Is everybody good? Right? The next thing is you're going to violet flame your food, your water, right? So now let's say we go to the supermarket. And you go to the supermarket. So I'm just going to pick up my friend here. I go to the supermarket. This is a head of lettuce. 5 people picked up this head of lettuce before I touched it. 4 of the 5 were sad. The person's farm that it came from, the guy was happy, in love, whatever. The trucker was a miserable mess. The stock boy who was doing it was so happy because he got engaged. The next person, I don't know, some god awful thing happened and he was a mess. So now he's just like, whatever. And now the 5 people touch it, 5 are miserable, 1 is happy. Well, you want to transmute. Violet flame, send it back as you get your lettuce, or you see all your food in the basket before you get to the store. Send the violet flame into the supermarket. And then violet flame your food. There are people walking around now today, currently, looking at food saying, I can't afford this. I don't have the money for this. Oh, my poor kids. So that energy, because everything is energetic memory, is sitting inside of that food, is sitting inside of that store. It is permeating in that store. And guess what? Then we tend to pick it up because we're energetic beings. And because we're light workers, we tend to be a little bit more sensitive than most. So we want to transmute the energy of whatever we're taking into our hands. So like, let's say this, right? Let's say this is a piece of paper and I'm going to hand it. Now this is my hand, but I'm not really me. I'm somebody else. So I'm going to hand it to somebody else. In this moment that these 2 hands are touching it, there's an energetic current. We're looking at each other, there's an energetic current. If this person is feeling sadness, disarray, anything of any way, I take this into my energetic field. If I have the smallest ounce of that, that's now amplified. So the violet flame is the tool that helps us keep our vibrational frequency higher, transmuting anything lower and denser into a higher vibrational frequency. Now, while that energetic exchange is occurring, they're getting a little zap of transmutation themselves so that they can open up to greater amounts of light. We're changing and opening up people's hearts to greater amounts of light. in using the violet flame. This is the greatest gift given to us, to humanity. The greatest. I will be teaching this all day, one day, all day, every day. I should be out on the street corners, really. But it is the greatest gift given to us. And it's powerful, and it comes from the Holy Spirit. Very powerful gift. Source, creator, the great central sun, whatever you want to say, Mother, Father, God, gave us this gift to use that Saint Germain has been holding a dispensation for humanity. So use it in any way that you feel called to use it. Even like some of us love crystals, right? I'm a crystal girl. I'll go into a store. Before I go into that store, I'm violet flaming that store. Because let me tell you something. I can read energy. I personally can read energy. I know when there's an energetic vortex in there, if it's good, bad, or indifferent. So sometimes we go into a store and we pick up a crystal because we think it's for us. Use the violet flame. You pick up the crystal. You can even run your hand over it. Use the violet flame. Transmute any energy that's in there. Sometimes people walk into a crystal store or any kind of a healing store because they're looking for hope. They want hope. They always say, quote unquote, I love being in here. I feel so good. You know? Hello. They just allowed themselves to get relaxed, calm, and release their stuff. Right? And the crystals kind of help them out. So, but then you could be picking up a crystal that it's not necessarily for you to work with, but just the energy was so dense, you're like, oh, maybe I should work with this. And you're like, oh, no, maybe I shouldn't. Or there's a piece of you that it was attracted because the last person who touched it, you know? And so there was something in there for you to work out. But then you take it into your environment and now you're also taking on their energetic mess. So you want to transmute. The violet flame is really also about us being more aware of our energy, of others' energy, having the tools, the power, the dominion to cleanse, clear, and heal other energy. Powerful stuff.
Paula,
Yes.
question. So when you say to violet flame, so just the basic words again.
Mm-hmm.
I am the violet flame. I am the love God is with the crystal.
Uh-huh. And then like you can just hold the crystal in your hand and begin to visualize. Like we're going to go through this in a minute. Visualize a violet flame sphere coming through you or into your hands or to the crystal and immersing itself in the crystal. Like allow yourself to see it. At some point you'll be able to direct, like you'll see yourself directing the violet flame. You know, you can create spheres. This is later class, but spheres of the violet flame. Cleanse your chakras. We're going to do that. Like class 3 and 4 is about cleansing the chakras using the violet flame. Because the violet flame will also, you know, we have blocks. Sometimes you have blocks in our body, in our energetic field. We have a 4-body system, right? You have your emotional body, spiritual body, physical body, mental body. And when information comes in, it comes in first through our spiritual body into our emotional body. And if our emotional body doesn't want to handle it and deal with it, and we don't want to acknowledge it, we'll end up with something, some kind of dis-ease. So when we can cleanse blocks using the violet flame, energetic disruptions, and we can get our, because it cleans up, like, you know how we get, what is that? Cholesterol tartar buildup in ourselves. Same thing happens in our energetic fields, in our chakras. They start to spin slower and slower and slower. The more you use the violet flame, you start to spin, your chakras will spin faster at a higher frequency, a faster rate. Let me see. So yeah, and then, so the first week is like, this is the basics, right? Then the next week, we're going to talk about it some more. We're going to recap. And then we'll go into the chakras, the 3rd and 4th week. 5th and 6th is elementals, nature spirits, all that. And then 7th and 8th is like the wrap up, right? But now, before we conclude, well, we're not going to conclude yet because I think we're going to do a little meditation. Stephanie, are you okay with that? Are you almost home?
Yeah, I'm definitely good with that. I'm almost home, and yeah, I'm fine with that.
How soon until you're home?
about like 20 minutes or so, but I mean, it's fine to go ahead and start. I can listen in.
Okay, well, maybe you'll be home by the, okay, all right, well, we'll see, we'll see. All right, so now, let's go with this. This is something that I usually teach this in the second class, but here's gonna be, this is the only homework that you have. Do you guys even want me to send you those little drip you guys the booklets that I made? Okay, so I'll drip that out. And then share, share your experience. It's about capturing, because the whole goal and the key is to become and embody the violet flame. That's it. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. You can send it to the government. You can send it to the leaders. You can send it to doctors and nurses. My government is the violet flame. It is the love goddess. It is the truth goddess. It is the peace goddess. And one of my classes, we all had to violet flame our names. So, and we'll talk about that in class 2. But we violet flame, I'll talk about it brief now, but we had to violet flame our names. Because what came through was, so let's say my name is Carla, right? But if there was, like, sometimes people are like, oh, you remind me of Carla from Cheers. And I'm thinking, please, that little short nothing. Like, are you serious? Give me a break, right? And then somebody else said something else. And then someone else says something else. Well, they're putting their perceived energy of what that person is, right? And then I put my thing to it, but I don't want to associate with that name anymore, right? So now maybe I don't say it the way I should say it. Maybe people are like, oh, you're so silly. Oh, you're airy fairy. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. Oh, Carla is so this. She is so that. Oh, every time they said my name, they put this energy onto it. So when we violet flame our names, we release that off of our names. And we can release it for lineages as well, off of our names. So now those things that we put onto it, also ourselves, we're transmuting it, we're clearing it. And it's really simply, you write your name on the purple pen marker. You write your name and you say your name. But as you write your name and you say your name, you're just violet flaming. And you're just holding the paper with your name on it, or your hand over the paper, and you're just sending the violet flame. My name is Carla. Carla is the violet flame. She is the love goddess. Carla is the violet flame. She is the peace goddess. Carla is the violet flame. She is the joy goddess. She is the harmony goddess. She is the wisdom goddess. All that was ever placed on this name given to Carla is now released, cleared, centered, and balanced. And so you clear the energy of your name. Sorry about the coughing. So the violet flame also incorporates the pink ray and the blue ray. The violet flame is about alchemy, freedom, being able to resonate at a higher vibrational frequency, so that you can live in the flow of grace and ease. And also, again, always being able to hold and emit more light, so other people around you can receive the light. You become a clearer vessel, channel, energetic facilitator of the light, because you're transmuting all that's not serving within you and around you. So I want to talk about this too, before I forget. So tonight or over the week, I really don't give homework. I don't do the homework thing. But what I do say, the only thing that to get the best, the most value, it's so important that you practice. And it's simple. It's so simple. And here's another thing. Sometimes something happens throughout the course of the day that gets you irritated or hot for a hot second. The second that happens, you've disconnected yourself. Go back in and begin to invoke the violet flame. Reestablish your connection. So I also want to touch on, you guys, I want to encourage everybody to write their own prayer, decree, mantra, affirmation, cantation. A prayer is saying something in the hopes of. I don't really pray that much anymore. I usually do decrees and declarations. And so when you are creating your decree, you're always giving thanks. So you'll have your opening. Your opening can be something like this. I, Carla, give thanks to Master Saint Germain, the spiritual hierarchy, for your love, your support, your guidance. I ask you to always be present, and I thank you for always being present. So you're making the call. That your opening paragraph is making your own call. And the reason why I encourage this is because when you make your own call, it's wonderful to hear other people's, but it's important that you create your own, because you yourself resonates at your own vibrational frequency. Each one of us resonates at our own vibrational frequency. We have different callings within our lives. We have different needs within our lives. When you create your own, and then you have the body, right? So then the body is, I am the violet flame, I am the love God is. I call upon the great I am presence that lives and moves and dwells around me at all times. I call upon the angels of the four directions, my master teachers, loved ones, right? And then, then you could say, I declare, I decree peace to the world in the name of the violet flame. You could send the violet flame to other countries for more peace, love, joy. You could send it anywhere and everywhere. And then in the close, you give thanks. I give thanks for all the love, for the gifts. May I always use the gifts for my greatest and highest good and the greatest and highest good of others. May I always continue to be a pure, clear vessel and channel for not only myself, but the greatest good of others. In the name of Jesus, Mother Mary, Saint Germain, Archangel Michael, and the great central sun of the I am that I am. So be it done, declared, decreed, amen. I keep a journal of all the different prayers and decrees that I have, or all the different violet flame sentences that I have, because I'll use different ones for different times. Because, from moment to moment, we're slightly different in what our energetic needs are from moment to moment. You could be, like Stephanie, let's say she works as a nurse. She may walk into, a woman needing a lot of help, and she could begin to send the violet flame as she's reading the chart. Susie Joe is the violet flame. She's the love God is. Thank you, Saint Germain, Jesus, Mother Mary, for sending love, peace, joy. And then walks into the room. and instantly changes the atmosphere for that woman. This is how powerful the violet flame is. It's instantaneous. But you have to use it. It's important. You know, the more you use it, the stronger it is. Yes, Deirdre.
So we don't need permission from them, other people. We can just violet flame them and whatever is needed.
Mhm.
Like we're not, other than saying they're the peace, they're the love, they're this, whatever is needed will be taken care of
Yes.
by
Mhm.
their higher self.
See,
Okay.
here's the thing, like when you're doing that, Sarah Jo is the violet flame, she is the love God is. That's it. You're
Okay.
not, it's none of your energy. You're not channeling and going like this. Like if I'm
Right.
gonna do any energy work, like I'm gonna do a crystal healing, I need the person's permission because I
Okay.
am going into somebody's energetic field. I need to have their permission. If someone says, you know, Reiki, like I'm not sending anybody Reiki without their permission.
Right.
But to send the violet flame, I am affirming that their higher self is the love God is. I'm
Okay.
transmuting the negative energy that's swirling around them. So I'm, in essence, standing in the gap, right? Standing in strength, sending them the violet flame to transmute all the stuff that's coming to them. And then I'm talking to their higher self, acknowledging their higher self as the love that God is. They are the love God is.
Okay.
So they can receive what they need from that versus, but I'm not messing around with their energy field at all. I'm saying it's done. That's it. But if you're
Okay.
going into somebody's energetic field, yes, you need permission.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, you know, you're laying in the bed and someone says, oh, you know, maybe one of your guides says, you know, call that person, you know, whatever, give them a message. I won't do that without getting permission from them. Would it be okay if we had a session or, you know, whatever came to me, but I wouldn't do it, you know? But this is also how I was taught, you know,
Mhm.
that you can't just start reading people, right?
Yeah,
So
well, I don't want to just start reading
no, no,
people,
no,
but I
no,
also want
no,
to.
no, and I was taught that you just don't send Reiki to somebody without them asking, or you ask their
Right, same.
permission, or doing a crystal healing, you know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
that's how, so that is very different than the
Than
other.
this.
You're just decreeing that you're acknowledging their higher self, their God self as the love God is, because they can't
Okay.
see it. So it's like you're standing in that gap to help connect them into the bridge, and then that's it. And then
Okay.
Saint Germain, the ascended masters, will do all the rest. But here's what happens: it's twofold. When let's say, like, you know, let's say, because we're all in each other's lives for a reason, right?
Mhm.
For some reason, we have crossed paths in some other lifetime. If we drive on the street and we see an auto accident, we don't know, but we could have been in another lifetime with that person. We can send the violet flame to that person in that accident, just to transmute the negative energy, the fear, standing in the gap. I'm not sending somebody Reiki. I'm sending them the violet flame. And at the same time, I've just began to clear karma between us because I saw that accident lets me know that I could have had some kind of relationship with that person in the past, unbeknownst to me, and unbeknownst, because it crossed my path for healing, for transmutation. So send it. When you're going out, you see an accident, send it. We didn't even touch yet on this. You know, our houses that we live in, the buildings that we live in, all this has an energetic memory. You can violet flame your house. You can communicate with your house and violet flame your house and transmute the energy in your house. And the memory that lives in your house, the memory that lives in your furniture You ever notice that like sometimes like we have furniture from our grandmother, great grandmother has its own smell? Because all that energy collected over the years and now it's just permeating off of it. So you can go in and violet flame that. And I'm telling you, speaking from my own experience, because I'm using my Aunt Sally's table that was in her basement, it doesn't smell like my Aunt Sally anymore.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
You can use it like, let's say, you know how sometimes we remember a song, right? From an
Mhm.
ex-boyfriend, right? So here we are, we wake up in the morning, we're happy, we're like bubbling around, we're like, oh my God, what an awesome day this is gonna be. We get in the car, freaking 15, 20 minutes into looking at the beautiful trees. For me, it used to be Journey. This song from Journey would come on, and I would be right back in the past, 20 years ago, thinking about my ex-boyfriend, how the little bastard cheated on me, this, that, the whole nine, right? Like I'm a mess. Then I get to my destination. Now everything that should have been going good is now going awry because I just shifted my energy. So let's say that happens and you're triggered by a song and that song is taking you out and it's bringing you into a negative space. You can use the violet flame. As you're listening to that song and you get the memory recall of the past, the ex-boyfriend, because it's also the flame of forgiveness. And it's the easiest, most fastest way to forgive, to move into forgiveness and out of forgiveness. It's amazing, amazing stuff. I will say though, I'm still having one little fee. But that's time will only tell on that one. But anyway, but for the most part, it's the easiest because, so yeah, I just can't, if someone wishes me death, I can't let you into my sanctuary. Like, so I forgive you. I'll see you on the outside. Anywhere, but not in my sanctuary. Can't come in here. So that's the only thing. But I do forgive them, but I can't do it. So anyway, so then there's Journey. And with this Journey song, I was able to transmute it. So now I can listen to Journey. So what I did was, so Craig, my ex, whenever that song came up, I thought about him. I thought about the situation. And what I began to do was see the violet flame going around us in that situation. Now I'm to the place where I can listen to any part of Journey, any song of Journey, and I'm not affected by it.
Mhm.
Just the song. There's nothing pulling me out of the present moment. I'm not attached, completely detached, just listening to the music. I'm able to stay in the present moment. The more we use the violet flame, the more it keeps us in the present moment as well.
Okay.
And let's say, like, give you another, I had somebody read my Akashic records today. She also took my class. So we violet flamed first. She told me about my past because I'm having some blocks. You know what I mean? I'm on the slow chain. This is a slow chain. So she shared it with me. So then I was able to violet flame it, but I didn't sit with it. I was able to acknowledge and understand. Okay, so you were killed. You were this, you were that, because of what you did in the past. Okay, I got it. So I violet flamed it. And then I was able to be like, okay, maybe I can go look at those videos that I'm like 2 weeks behind on, you know? So it made, and I was able to laugh about it, where before I was like totally standoffish. So it's now transmuting that. So I received the information, I transmuted it, so now I can move forward. And I also participated in Saint Germain to clear the karmic debt around it.
Okay.
Because Saint Germain sits on the karmic board. So as we invoke the violet flame, we are clearing a lot of karma from ourselves and ancestrally as well. Because you have to remember, we are also ancestors.
Mhm.
So we're clearing a lot. And every single person that walks this planet, we see an accident, we see something on the TV, it doesn't matter. If it's negative in any way and we see it as such, we send the violet flame, because if we begin to see it in that negative fashion that it is, we're amplifying the negative energy to it. So if we could send the violet flame, send that whole situation the violet flame. For love, peace, joy to abound.
Carla, when we send a violet flame, can we ever feel sick? In
No,
other It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it made us feel sick. While explaining it.
Can you feel sick or will the person feel sick?
No, us.
No.
Us sending it. No. And not even for ourselves either, right? Like,
Can
let's say we feel like excuse me, feel like shit one day, right? You know, so we violent flame ourselves, and then whatever has to come up comes up. Do you feel sick? I mean,
No. So you mean will you feel a lagging of energy? No.
Yeah.
No. But now here's the catch. Let's say you go like this. You wake up in the morning, you're having a good day, you feel really good. Throughout the day, you turn around and you're like, oh, I'm tired. I feel like shit. And then you violet flame. And then 3 seconds later, you're like, oh, I feel like shit. I'm gonna violet flame. I am the violet flame. I'm the vitality God is. And then you go back and you say the same thing again. Ugh. Someone walks into your office, they piss you off, and you're like, oh my God, I just gotta get out of here. I feel like shit. You keep elevating, you're playing like seesaw, you know? And that's where you have to be careful of your I am statement, your I am presence. The next thing is that I didn't even touch on, there's so much information. Oh, I talk forever. The next thing is that when we read, this is a big one. You know, most people on social media write in first person.
Mm.
Everything is in their I. Me, I. Personal, I. Begin to train yourself to scan their name first. So somebody wrote a post. Joanne writes this post. Scan and what her name, Joanne, and wherever you see I, Joanne is tired. She has 3 kids. She feels like shit, whatever. Change the entire dialogue of the post that you see. Because here's what happens. If she's written it in first person, you're reading it in first person, which is now personal to you. You now draw an energetic line, an energetic connection to her. You end up courting this person. And now what happens is you begin to be like, oh my God, oh, I feel so bad for her. She's tired. She's got 3 kids. She's overworked. Oh, I hope that never happens to me. And next thing you know, you're feeling like crap because you've just taken on her energy. You've drawn an emotional attachment to her. You've just taken on that energy from what you read. But if you see it, violet flame. I mean, I look at my phone and I violet flame my phone, violet flame, and I say, oh, Joanne, oh, Joanne's tired. She has 3 kids. Husband's always away. Oh, Joanne is the violet flame. She is the love God is. May she have strength and peace. Beautiful story.
oh,
But I
Carla,
get away from it. I'm not
That-
attached to it.
and that goes the same thing for music too. Because some music, like, so funny, it's something stupid, but I was just thinking about it. So I don't know if anybody's been watching anyway, Dancing with the Stars, but anyway, Jordan Sparks just got eliminated, right? And her song she sang, she goes, how can I breathe with no air? There's no air. And she keeps saying I, you know? And I was, you know, I like that song. So I was singing it and I was like the same way. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I can't say this. It keeps saying I. You know, so even music too, you have to be careful with, because a lot of the music lyrics, they have the I, and then you're singing it, and you're like, oh, you know, wow, this is not good.
Right. You're, the gospel, God spell. You're putting, it's a spell, like you're chanting it, you're decreeing it in your eye. You're like, I don't know the song. I either listen to songs that are like classical with no verbiage, or I listen to like, there's a couple of songs that I listen to that you guys know, Sunshine. Stephanie, I think you know Sunshine also. Because Sunshine was in the first class, Stephanie, with you. That she turned me on to this song, which was so great because It's like, I am bliss, I am happy, I am whatever. It just doesn't, it left out the violet flame aspect, okay? But it just is fine by me. And then there's another song by Peter Katara that I love him, and he sings, we are the space that exists in all things. So like, I'm mindful of what I listen to. Right? And this is another thing I want to add. You can create your own song around the violet flame.
Create what?
Your own song around the violet flame.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to remember, you have your own vibrational frequency, your own resonance, your own tone. So if you feel called, like I have one on my phone, I listen to it in the morning for myself, along amongst other songs that I've created that bring me great joy. All right, wait, hold on, let me see, where is it? I'll play it real quick, if I find it. All right, here's my song. It's 1 minute, but here it is.
I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame.
Can you hear that?
I am the violet flame. 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 I am the violet flame.
So that's pretty much it. Yeah,
Adorable.
that's my singing voice. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I'll listen to that in the car, but I'm very, very mindful what comes in. I guard my gates. Your eyes, your hands, your nose, your ears, your mouth, the soles of your feet are also your gates. Guard your gates. So one of the things, couple of things I always tell everybody, every class without fail, every journey. So for Stephanie and Megan, they've heard this before. You wear violet flame shoes. You put your shoes on. I usually talk more about this in the second and third class, but I'm going to just for tonight, I want to mention it now. Violet flame shoes, violet flame gloves. Like, you always put your slippers on, right? Your socks, whatever, your underwear, you put your violet flame shoes on. You put your gloves on. You have chakras in your hands. You have chakras at the soles of your feet. Whatever you're stomping into the earth is ripples out to others. Somebody crosses your path. If you're angry and you stomp into the earth, you're sending that energetic frequency to the next person and into Mother Earth. When you put your violet flame shoes on, you're transmuting whatever's leaving your body into more love, more peace, more joy. And you're also not giving Mother Earth stuff to cleanse and heal. She's making her ascension. She don't need to be doing all this work. Then, you're helping her to have fuel. And then other people come. If you're crossing paths with somebody else and they're miserable, you're not picking up their energy through the soles of your feet. Same thing with like gloves. You put your gloves on, there's an energetic exchange, boom, boom. You're transmuting. You're not picking up any other people's energy. Same thing here. You go touch a shopping cart, you're not picking up other people's energy. So you could step into a bubble of the violet flame as well. I step into a bubble of violet flame, I put my gloves, my shoes on. Sometimes I even put a hat on.
I'm sorry, Paul, I got another question on that.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, so what do you mean put on, what do you envision, purple shoes?
Yeah, you envision like violet flame shoes slipping on your feet. So as you go to put your socks on, just envision violet flame shoes coming onto you. As you get out of the bed, envision violet flame shoes. As you get, out of the bed and you go to just envision violet gloves. You can picture two spheres that you step into, one in the left foot, one in the right foot, two violet flame spheres. You can picture two violet flame spheres out in front of you and put your hands into them and let them melt over your hands.
What about putting it all around you? No good?
You can step into a bubble of the violet flame as well, but specifically, you always want to put your shoes on. Your shoes and gloves, absolutely. Sometimes you may need to put a hat on, depends on where you're going. There's been times I put the hat on. There may be times you might see me with the aluminum tinfoil hat. Like, I can see it's coming one day. I'll be in a tinfoil hat. Okay. Okay, so I know we said 9 o'clock. Are we okay with taking a 5-minute break, coming back and doing a little meditation, and then what comes through comes through?
I'm good with that.
Okay, cool. All right. How about you, Megan? Are you okay? All right, so 5 minutes, 9:05, we'll be back. In the meantime, does anybody have, before we go, because we have 1 minute before 9, does anyone have any questions? Any feedback, anything that they want to share? Go ahead.
At this class now, I saw you're recording it. Is it gonna be available for us to rewatch or no?
Yeah. I'm gonna put it through probably my YouTube. Are you guys okay with it being on YouTube but listed as unlisted, not private, unlisted? And then I funnel it back into here, into my website. Or I'm gonna see if I can download it directly from my computer into my website. And then it doesn't go through, YouTube. It's just on my site. That's it. And that's it. I may even, do you guys want to watch it, or do you want to listen to it audibly?
It doesn't matter. I guess.
Whatever's easiest for you to upload and download, however you get it.